It's that time of year again, the annual schedule leak. Nothing is official until 8 p.m. Eastern, when the Atlanta Falcons will unveil their lineup with a flashy video presentation. But leaks happen, and we've pieced together what looks like the 2025 schedule. Take it with a grain of salt. Things could change. Kicking off at home, the Falcons will start their season at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's right, another season opener in Atlanta, and this one's shaping up to be a tight contest. Early odds have it as a pick'em game, and the storyline is enticing. Michael Penix Jr. making his debut as the Falcons' starting quarterback in front of a home crowd. Prime time, early drama week. 2 brings the first road challenge, a Sunday night football matchup against J.J. McCarthy and the Minnesota Vikings. This game holds intrigue, especially for Kirk Cousins, who will be watching his former team take the field with their new QB. McCarthy will be in the spotlight early, coming off a Monday night game against Chicago. That's 2 primetime games back-to-back, a trial by fire for the young quarterback. Next up, the Falcons hit the road again to face the Carolina Panthers, followed by a home game against the Washington Commanders. The Commanders' schedule this year is loaded with 8 standalone games, including primetime and international slots. Atlanta, meanwhile, faces an early bye in Week 5, a bit of a curveball. Navigating the middle stretch. After the bye, the Falcons return to the spotlight on Monday Night Football, hosting the Buffalo Bills. That's 3 primetime appearances in the first third of the season, rare territory for this franchise. The primetime train doesn't stop there. Week 8 sees the Dolphins come to Atlanta, and then it's a trip to Foxborough to face the Patriots before a journey to Berlin to play the Indianapolis Colts. Playing internationally usually gives teams some flexibility with their bye week, and that early Week 5 break could be tied to the Falcons' German adventure. Whether it's ideal remains debatable, but it's clear Atlanta will need to be resilient through travel and time zone adjustments. The final push. The back half of the season features a heavy dose of divisional play. After returning from Germany, Atlanta hosts Carolina and New Orleans before traveling to face the New York Jets. The schedule then shifts back to Mercedes-Benz for a game against the Seattle Seahawks. From there, it's a whirlwind. Thursday night football against the Buccaneers, then a cross-country trek to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. The home stretch includes another primetime slot, a Monday night showdown with the Los Angeles Rams, and a potential playoff decider in New Orleans to close the season. The road ahead. The Falcons have known their opponents since the end of Week 18, but seeing the schedule laid out always brings a fresh perspective. Opening against Tampa Bay at home, facing a rookie quarterback in prime time, and juggling international travel, all these elements make for a season full of narrative twists. The team's ability to manage early pressure and a condensed primetime schedule will likely set the tone. Whether or not the schedule holds up as leaked, it's clear that Atlanta's path to success in 2025 will require grit, adaptability, and a flair for the dramatic. This is a new script, a fresh perspective you haven't heard before. Buckle up, Falcons fans. The road ahead is anything but predictable. There's a lot to unpack with the Falcons' choice of a Week 5 bye. To be honest, it feels premature, especially when the team is slated to play in Berlin, Germany, just 5 weeks later. An early bye can be a blessing or a curse, and in this case, it leans more toward the latter. Ideally, you'd want to break closer to that long international trip, maybe Week 9 or Week 11, to help recalibrate. Coming off that early bye, the Falcons face a real test, hosting Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. While the extra week of preparation helps, it's still a tough matchup to walk into. Then it's back-to-back primetime games with a cross-country trip to face the San Francisco 49ers. Talk about a brutal stretch. An early October bye could leave the Falcons feeling gassed come late in the season, especially when other teams are fresher after a mid-season break. International challenges. Week 8 brings the Miami Dolphins to Atlanta, and in Week 9, the Falcons head to Foxborough to take on the Patriots. Now here's where the schedule actually aligns favorably. Playing New England in Week 9 sets up the Falcons nicely for the next week's journey, across the Atlantic to play the Indianapolis Colts in Berlin. If you're thinking of turning this into a European getaway, Berlin might not offer the iconic festivals fans might hope for. Oktoberfest is long over by then, and the famous German Christmas markets won't be open yet. Plus, it's an early game, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, so if you're planning to catch it live, set your alarm clocks. No rest for the weary. Here's where things get dicey. Coming back from Berlin, there's no extra recovery time. The Falcons immediately host the Carolina Panthers in Week 11, followed by the New Orleans Saints. Sure, both are divisional rivals that could be having down years, but divisional games are never a walk in the park. You just don't take these matchups lightly. In a perfect world, the bye would have fallen right here, giving the team a chance to recover from jet lag and fatigue. Instead, they'll have to dig deep and find the energy to compete. A grueling stretch. A head week. 13 sees the Falcons traveling to the Meadowlands to face the New York Jets, followed by a home game against the Seattle Seahawks in Week 14. Every season, there's that one graphic showing travel mileage for each team, and the Seahawks always top the list. They'll be trekking all the way from the Pacific Northwest to Atlanta, and that journey can't be overlooked. This stretch of the schedule will test Atlanta's endurance and resolve. Early buys might seem convenient, but come late November, when other teams are hitting their stride, the Falcons could be battling not just opponents, but also fatigue. A fresh script, a new outlook. This breakdown isn't just a recap, it's a new way to see the challenges and opportunities ahead for the Falcons. We're not just listing games, we're diving into the impact of timing, travel, and opponent readiness. This is the kind of schedule that can shape a team's identity if they survive the grind. Every year, the Seattle Seahawks top the list of NFL travel miles, and every year it feels a bit unfair, until you remember that Seattle's nearest division rival is San Francisco, which is still quite a trek. The Falcons, on the other hand, catch a bit of a break in Week 15. They'll head to Tampa for Thursday Night Football, but the Buccaneers aren't getting much of an edge here. Tampa will be coming off a home game against the New Orleans Saints, so while they don't have to travel, it's still a short week for them. Atlanta, meanwhile, will be on the road, but not from too far away. Imagine the nightmare scenario if Atlanta had played in Seattle in Week 14, cross-country flight, minimal rest, and then another trip to Tampa just 4 days later. Thankfully, that's not the case. Wrapping up on the road. After the Thursday night tilt against the Buccaneers, the Falcons head out to Arizona to take on Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. Murray has been something of an enigma, but if the Cardinals exceed expectations, this could be a tricky game. Week 17 brings the Rams to Mercedes-Benz Stadium for a Monday Night Football showdown. Flex scheduling could come into play here, as games from Week 12 onward are fair game to move around. Then, to cap off the regular season, the Falcons will likely head to New Orleans to face the Saints in Week 18. This could be a game with playoff implications, or a chance to spoil the Saints' hopes entirely. Projecting the Falcons' path. Looking at the entire schedule, there are a few games that stand out. Week 2's Sunday Night Football game against the Vikings will be compelling, not just for the early season stakes, but for the chance to see Michael Penix Jr. go head-to-head with J.J. McCarthy. Both quarterbacks have the potential to be long-term faces of their franchises, and it's rare to see them square off this early in their careers. The Monday night home game against the Bills is another marquee matchup. Historically, Buffalo has had a tendency to start a bit slow before heating up down the stretch. If that trend continues, Atlanta might be catching them at just the right time. Similarly, the 49ers have been notorious for slow starts, which could work to the Falcons' advantage when they meet. A realistic prediction. Taking everything into account, I'm predicting 10 wins for the Falcons this season. The schedule is tough, but there's balance. The primetime games will test their mettle, and the international travel could wear them down. But with Michael Penix Jr. at the helm, a dynamic defense, and the right blend of veteran presence, Atlanta has the tools to be competitive. A fresh perspective. This isn't just a rundown of dates and matchups. It's an inside look at how the schedule shapes the season. The Falcons are on a journey filled with obstacles and opportunities, and how they navigate this path will define their 2025 campaign. It's a new script, a fresh take on what lies ahead for Atlanta. Buckle up. This season promises to be a wild ride.